Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. I'm Mindy and this is See Mindy Mom, and today I am for the first time hosting a collab. It's called Cook Once, Eat Twice. You're gonna love it. Stay tuned. My name is Mindy and I am married to Daniel. My husband and I both work for the church and we have 3 children ages 9, 6, and 5. I keep it pretty casual on my channel. I am not a professional YouTuber by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of my videos revolve around food. I do a lot of grocery hauls and meal plans. I do what I eat in a day videos. I do some weight loss videos, and I also do some what's for dinner videos along with some others sometimes that don't have anything to do with food, like favorites, although usually I do have some foods in my favorites, but a lot of it revolves around food, but not everything. Needless to say, I would love to have you as part of our family. If you'd like to continue watching our videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button that's down in the corner of your screen. The collab I'm hosting today is called Cook Once, Eat Twice. These are recipes that stretch for more than one meal. Maybe it's a recipe that's easy to double, and so you can make one the night that you're going to eat it, and you can make another one simultaneously that you can save for another time or even freeze for later. Perhaps it's something that has leftovers that make excellent breakfast burritos or egg scrambles, or maybe it's a meat dish that you can use multiple times in different ways. That's what I did. I have a lot of channels that are participating with me in this collab. You can check them out. They are listed in the description box below. So be sure to go and visit their channels and watch their videos and let them know that Mindy sent you. Okay, you guys, jumping into my contribution, I made a perfect pulled pork. I've made this recipe several times. My family really, really loves it. I'm gonna share with you 2 ideas for how to use the leftover pulled pork that were big hits for my family, including my children. But it all starts with how to make the pulled pork to begin with. I'm gonna share how I did that. And the secret is not to skip the brining. Just remember that, you guys, don't skip the brining process. Let's get into it. This perfect pulled pork recipe is from kevinandamanda.com, and it starts by brining the pork shoulder. And I think this is a really important step in what makes it so flavorful and fork tender, so don't skip this step. Plan ahead enough that you can do this. I am making my brine from 2 quarts of water, some salt, some brown sugar, and a couple of bay leaves. And then I will just give that a really good stir and pour it over my pork shoulder, which I have placed in a really big pot. And I will pop the lid on that and put it into the refrigerator where it will sit for a day or 2. And this time I believe that I did let it sit for 48 hours before I put it into the crock pot. It's been a couple days and I am going to cook the pork shoulder in the crock pot today, and so I'm going to make up the spice rub. This is a mixture of spices that the recipe calls for. It has garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, paprika, cayenne, chili powder, salt, pepper, lots of different things, and I will just leave that recipe linked in the description box because I did adjust a few of the amounts for our personal taste. I did not use as much cayenne pepper and cumin because that would make it a little too spicy for us, but you can follow the directions or you can adjust it according to your family's preferences. The recipe does say that you should make this spice rub whenever you make the brine and use a few tablespoons of it in the brine. I didn't think that that made a huge difference in the flavor of the pork shoulder, so I just make the spice rub the day I'm going to cook it and use it whenever I'm getting ready to put it into the crock pot. After I have stirred up my spice rub, I am going to move my pork shoulder to the crock pot. It's been in the fridge for 2 days brining, and I'm going to take that spice rub and just make sure that I spread it as best I can and pat it into the pork shoulder. I do want to make sure that at the end, the fatty side of the pork shoulder is facing up because I want the juices from the fat to kind of drip down into the meat and flavor it, and make sure that I get all of that yummy spice rub kind of evenly distributed across the pork roast. When I'm done with that, I will pop it into my crock pot, and I am going to cook this on low for 10 hours and then check on it. I find that the pork cooks a lot faster than beef, and so 10 hours was enough for this pork shoulder. I think it was right at around 4 pounds or so. That will depend on your crock pot and of course the size of your pork shoulder. But when that 10 hours is over, I checked on it and it was smelling absolutely delicious, and it was just
falling off the bone. It was so easy to shred. I took the bones out, I took the fatty layers out, and I just shredded the rest of the meat up, and oh my gosh, this was so delicious. Everybody loved it. I've made this several times before, and it never disappoints. Just mark my words, trust me on this. Don't skip the brining process. The kids really liked this. I just served this with some asparagus and some strawberries, and I made up just some cheesy cauliflower rice to go on the side, and my husband and I had ours, just some of the pork roast with the cheesy cauliflower rice and some asparagus. It was a yummy, delicious dinner, and everybody really enjoyed it.
Hey you guys, it's Sunday and we just walked in the door from church. Sundays are very busy for us usually because my husband is a pastor and I also work for the church in the music department. So I'm so glad that I made that pulled pork last night because I'm going to use it now to throw together a really quick and easy lunch. We're going to make some cheesy pork sliders. So I'll show you how we're doing that. This recipe comes from thecreativebite.com. And it starts with some Hawaiian rolls. I'm just going to slice those down the center lengthwise and remove the top of the rolls. I think it's easier to assemble the sandwiches this way and then just slice them into individual sandwiches at the very end when you're ready to serve it. I've got those on some parchment paper, which I have put onto my cookie sheet. And now I'm going to place some sliced cheese on top of them. I am using Munster cheese. You can use whatever you like, whatever your family likes. Now I'm going to take some of the pulled pork and just spread it across the cheese. I did pop this into the microwave for just a couple of seconds because I think that it makes it easier to spread across the sandwiches. After this, I'm going to put some barbecue sauce on top. And I'm using the G. Hughes sugar-free barbecue sauce. You can use whatever barbecue sauce you like or have on hand. I did put this in a bowl with a little bit of water to thin it out because I think it's easier to spread across with this basting brush. And once I'm done with that, because we're such a cheese-loving family, I'm going to top it with another layer of cheese. And I had a good chuckle about this because I know that I used 12 slices of cheese on the sandwiches already, which is what this package says is in there, but I still have a piece of cheese left over, so I guess we got some bonus cheese. I'm not sure what I'll do with it, but I guess I'll just leave it on the counter here and some little snacker will come by and pick that up and have a delicious pre-dinner snack. Now I'm going to go ahead and place the top of the rolls back on, and I'm going to make a butter sauce glaze to spread over the top. I'm using half a stick of butter and some minced onion, some poppy seeds, and a little bit of Worcestershire. I'm going to pop that into the microwave and give it a little bit of a stir, and then I will just brush that onto the top of the rolls before I put them into the oven. I think this just adds a really nice flavor and aroma to the sandwiches as well. I'll cover that with foil and put it into the oven until the sandwiches are heated through. I set my timer for 10 minutes at first, and I didn't think that that was quite long enough, so I let them go a few minutes longer because I really wanted that cheese to be nice and melty. And these turned out so delicious. Everybody liked them. The children liked them. We had a few left over, but they didn't last long because we took them for lunches throughout the week. These were so delicious, and I'm glad that I tried them. I took the easy route and just served it with a little bit of watermelon that we had in the refrigerator, sliced that up and served it with sandwiches along with some chips, and it made for a very easy, delicious Sunday lunch that came together really quickly. I actually have enough of this pulled pork left to make a third meal with it, so I'm going to make a barbecue pulled pork pizza. The inspiration for this came from a website called Gimme Some Grilling, and they actually made their pizza on the grill, so I'll leave that linked in the description box if you want to know how they did that. I'm just going to make mine in the oven. I'm starting with just a store-bought crust mix, and I'm just making it according to the package directions. You could use whatever crust you wanted if you want to make one that's homemade or if you want to buy one that's already made up from the store. Instead of pizza sauce, I am using barbecue sauce on the crust, and I'm using some of the G. Hughes sugar-free barbecue sauce. I poured that onto the pizza and then just used my brush to spread it across evenly. And now I'm going to start with the cheese. I actually used several different kinds of cheese that we had on hand in the house. This is some freshly grated Monterey Jack cheese.
And then I'm going to put some red onions onto the pizza. We're not huge red onion fans in this house, so I chopped them up really, really fine, and I put them on the bottom layer so that hopefully I'm the only one who knows that they're there, and everybody else just thinks it's a really delicious, flavorful pizza. I am going to use some provolone. I had some on hand. I'm just using up what we have in the refrigerator. This is sliced provolone, so I'm going to tear it into small pieces and just distribute it evenly across the pizza. Then comes the pulled pork. I'm going to just break that up into small pieces and spread it out over the cheese and the crust of the pizza. After that, I'm going to add some bacon. I just cooked a couple of pieces of bacon in the microwave. You could use bacon that's already cooked. You could leave it off. It's up to you. And then comes the pineapple. I am not usually a pineapple on a pizza type person, but it worked really well with this pizza, so don't skip that. And then I am ending with just some mozzarella cheese, some regular store-bought, already shredded mozzarella cheese on top of that. I'm going to pop that into the oven until the pizza is done. It depends on how you like your crust. I like mine a little crispy, so I cooked mine for about 10 to 12 minutes. Of course, this will depend on your oven and your own preferences, but it came out beautifully. It was so delicious. Everybody really liked it. My husband liked it. The kids liked it. I kept it simple and just served it with some sweet peppers that I chopped up and sauteed in some olive oil with salt and pepper. We will definitely make this again.
All right, you guys, that's what I have to share with you today. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Leave me a comment. Let me know, what are some recipes that you have that stretch for more than one meal? What are some ways that you cook once and eat twice? Check in with you guys again soon. Bye.